Hello, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and as you can no doubt tell from what's on my table, we are on Sunday stitching. Now this week it's time to be back with our art roll. Just plugging my iron in so we've got some heat. So what doing alternate weeks, you sort of forget, don't you? Where are we up to? Oh yes, last time we did the mini patchwork with the falling buttons or bubbles or whatever. Okay, so we did this flower a few weeks ago where I thread painted, and I thought maybe it was time to get another flower on here. So this time, different type of flower. I've got this piece of fabric that's got these two beautiful red flowers on. I feel like this is probably upholstery fabric, curtaining or something. And I'm thinking, if I pull it down a bit, that we've got this board space here, but I don't obviously want to cover the buttons up too much, so that's a bit of a problem. We could come on this side here, because what I'm thinking is, if I, in the world of paper, fussy cut this flower, it can have this like lace background, although I think I'll probably use this one because I think it's slightly smaller. So I'm thinking if I put this piece of lace that was gifted to me on there, we can still see bits of all the fabrics around it. I'm maybe going to put this little piece of red trim on the bottom there, just because I can, basically. And then we're going to have this flower on there. So that's my plan for the day. How are you all? Are you happy, safe and well? So I'm just going to stick a pin through all of them layers to hold that in place. Have I got another one? Yeah. So I'm going to pin that. We'll set that to one side for a minute. Now, this is very, very frayy, as you can see. Not that fray is really a word, is it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my small pinking shears. I'm going to cut it out roughly at this stage. And I only really want the actual flower. Cut a bit extra off of here. And set that to one side. And then I'm going to use some of this sticky stiffener, because what I'm thinking is that's gonna obviously stop it fraying. So you can see, look, I've only just cut it and it's already all coming away. So I'm gonna line myself up on here. We're gonna trim down there and across there. Now the only thing is, obviously this has got glue on it, so we need to make sure that we're not getting glue on our iron. So this side that's got the spots on, in case you've never used it before, that's the glue. So I want to make sure that when I put that on there, it's not going to go on my iron. So I'm going to have to trim a bit more off. There, look. So trim that bit. And now it's definitely not going to come and stick all over my iron. So while I've been talking, my iron should have got nicely hot. Yep, could even turn it up a little bit. So put my fabric face down, and then I'm going to put my gluey stiffener on top. I'm sorry about the children screaming in the background. It's quite warm here, so I've got the window open and they haven't yet gone back to school, so there is a bit of noise outside where they're out playing. You can actually see that this is 2 layers that's been embroidered. It's almost like what we're doing, so that's interesting in itself. So just making sure that's well and truly stuck. Then I'm going to unplug my iron. I need to get hubby to come down and fix this actually. It was hanging on hooks under my desk, but it's come off. I think I'm still going to use my pinking shears. And I'm going to cut round. Do I like that? Yes, I do. And then up there. I might have to not use that leaf because there's no stiffener on it. So I'm just going to trim around there. I'm so pleased that so many of you are enjoying the fabric book videos that come alternate weeks in between this art roll. It's great to know that you're all enjoying it. And of course, if I was doing, as I say, paper project, this would be called fussy cutting. But here in the world of fabric, it's just, well, cutting out, I suppose. Okay, so get rid of that, I think, for the time being. The iron's unplugged, so I'll put that over there with that as well. And that can cool down without burning my arm. Right, let's bring this back in. So, I suppose I should check you're on camera, shouldn't I? Oh yeah, brilliant. Right, so hopefully now you can see I am going to cover up that diamond, unfortunately, but we are going to get this beautiful piece. Now if you had that steamer seam rather than the stiffener that I've got, then you could obviously, just going to put a pin through there, you could obviously stick it down as well, but that's not where I'm going. Now I've got what I call pillar box red, and then I've got this more burgundy red. I think the burgundy red's going to work better, so I'm going to get a length of this, and first of all I want to get this flower down. Once I've got the flower down, I'll consider what I'm going to do with the lace, because there is a little bit of me thinking that it might be nice to thread some form of ribbon or something through some of that, not all of it obviously, but through some of that lace in order to sort of make it a little bit more arty, if that's even the right term. Right, I'm going to start right down here by the stalk, and I'm just going to try and do invisible stitches, so a little tiny pinprick on the front and then a quite big stitch on the back. This reminds me of when my girls were younger. I used to have to sew school badges and the like on. God, I don't miss those days. And actually, when I think of my mum, she used to have to stitch all my brownie badges on, you know, when we used to do the tasks. Any of you that went to brownies, or you had boys that went to scouts or cubs. Yeah, all those badges that needed sewing on, that you were so proud of because you'd achieved that task. It is still fraying, as you can see, but I have been able to cut it out at least. And of course the reason I believe it's fraying is because this embroidery is only on the front. So I want to get it down as quickly as I can and stop playing with it. Because of course it's that playing that's gonna breed more fraying, as it were. Whoops, where's that got? It's got caught around that leaf. Well, it's more of a petal than a leaf, isn't it? But so, whoops. Oh, and a button. Oh, I know it's because my thread's way too long, as always. And I'm still really working on memories, because although this flower is not really anything, it was just in a bundle of fabric that I purchased. This lace behind it was a gift from a friend, so you can see it's not many stitches really required to go round the outside. Take that pin out now because it's well secured enough not to need the pin. So I've come all the way round. I wonder if I can cheat and get a couple of stitches in this stalk as I'm doing invisible stitching, or trying to, without changing thread. Yeah, that works okay, doesn't it? It's not a glaringly obvious red stitch in the middle. Oh, okay, I'm gonna put that back through, and I think it makes sense while I've got this red on to do this little bit of edging that's on the bottom. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing, up and down, so we get a semi-invisible one at the front, quite a big one at the back. And take that pin out. Make sure that's straightish, and then pin it down at the other end. Turning it round again. I'm always spinning it round, aren't I? Oh, there's a lot of layers there, so it's not particularly gentle on your hands, but it's the price we pay, is it not? The grandchildren were all here on Friday. So while I had them all together, I took the opportunity to give them their quilts. So they're all done and gone. I'm now working on one for the house in a green colour. I'm sure I'll share that with you at some point. Okay, now I just want to trim up some of these dangly threads. So just gonna trim them. Okay. There we go. Now, in my bag of goodies, I've got this, quite a lot of it. I've got this red and gold. Now, sorry, because I've got such a small area, I'm trying to put things away. I'm just wondering, have we got that down there? Where's the end? Here. If before I stitch this down, I could or should or would, whatever, think about poking it through missing 1, 2, 3 even, and then poking it back through this one. Need to turn it over, Claire, because you've got it all twisted. Don't want it hanging down below. I'm going to fold it up so that it sits behind that piece, so we can't see the extra below. And give it a little tug, and then I think I'm just going to put it on the top of that one. So cut that off, and then I'm just going to do a little bend over so we've got a rough edge. I'm going to put a pin in there like that, and then I'm going to put a pin, she says, can't find one, here we go, under there. I think it just adds a nice line, connects it all up. So while I've still got the red in this needle, we're going to stitch that in place. So I'm going to come through there, and again little tiny stitches on the front, bigger ones on the back. Making sure I stay on the red middle bit. Oh, I pulled my needle off. Rather than going through the gold, just rethread this. Hubby and I have been watching a new series with Sheridan Smith. I don't know if you know her. Have I pulled it out again? I've pulled it out again. I love Sheridan Smith. No, I haven't. I think she's a great actress, and it's very strange, but I'm yet to find something that she's in that I've not enjoyed. So when I saw there was a new series, I thought I would have a look. And it turns out that I'm not going to tell you too much in case somebody is watching it or wants to watch it. It turns out that it's a true story, or it's based on a true story. Obviously, it's adapted. These things always are, aren't they? But it's based on a true story of the woman that actually instigated the changing of the law for double jeopardy. Now, if you don't know what double jeopardy is, although you probably do, because again, there was a fantastic film with that title, a few years ago now, but it's when you've been tried for a crime, you cannot be tried for it again. So, or you couldn't, you can now, because she was instrumental in changing the law. But originally, if you were tried in a court for a crime and it turned out that you'd been found innocent, even though you were actually guilty of that crime, you couldn't be tried again. Because that would be double jeopardy. Well, this woman was instrumental in changing the law because of what happened to her daughter. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell you any more. She was instrumental in changing the law. So, consequently, you can now be tried under double jeopardy. And not only that, because of what had happened to her daughter long before she managed, to get it changed or be instrumental in the changing of it, she even managed to have it changed so that it was retrospectively, which meant people that had gone before, so not just in the future, but people like her daughter's case that had gone before, could now be retried under this new double jeopardy law, which is amazing, because I'm not going to get all sort of political or legal heavy, because I don't really know enough in order to do that. But I do know that when you manage to change something that is 800 years old and accepted the world over as the norm and the best way of doing things, you've achieved something pretty miraculous. Here we go again. Go women. No, anybody. But, this woman, because it was her daughter, she was so adamant, so determined, as I'm sure any mother would be. And she did manage to do what she wanted to do. And then right at the end of the series, right at the end of the series, because it was based on a true story, they actually had a clip of her with her being Sheridan Smith, the actress that portrayed the woman in the series, with the actual woman that, it had been based upon. So yeah, and I do believe, I don't want to overly quote this, but I'm pretty sure actually now, that the actual woman did end up going to Buckingham Palace and meeting with the Queen to receive an honour of some sort. I don't want to state what it was because I don't know exactly, and I don't want to misquote, But yeah, so if you are a lover of true TV, TV based on true life, if you're a lover of things that are courtroom or legal based, then all I'm saying is that it's very probably a series for you. You would need to be in the UK because I don't, oh goodness me, I don't believe it's on Netflix. I believe it was on one of the mainstream channels, probably 4 or 5. But we just binge watched it in a couple of days. There's only 4 of them, so it's not a huge amount, but we just really got gripped. There are parts of it, be warned, that really shake your emotions because of what, you know, what's going on. But brilliant, brilliant, brilliant series. And yeah, brilliant achievement by the lady and great portrayal by Sheridan Smith. Absolutely fantastic. So there you go. That's what we've been watching, and I'm now waiting to get, I don't want to wish the time away, but to get towards the end of September. That's because I love Christmas, you see. Every month should be December in my world. 25th of September on Netflix is a new thing, House of Guinness, and I'm really excited to watch that. I love any kind of period drama, and it's a period drama. And of course Guinness is a well-known company, so yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that as well. But then I always feel that there's not much on during the warmer summer months because the makers or the programmers seem to think, probably quite rightly, that most people are out and about during the summer. But then as the winter months start to draw in, now look at that. I think that looks beautiful, and it's nicely sort of framed on 2 sides. Now I have got up here a couple of pieces of broken jewellery, and I'm wondering, this is like a clip, I'm wondering if this dragonfly sort of belongs on that flower. It's obviously going to make it quite heavy in the middle, but I think we can manage with that. And because I've got holes in this lace, I'm thinking I can push it perhaps one lower, push it all the way through, and now I've got a dragonfly sitting on my flower. And I've introduced a whole new colour because at the moment it's all very pink and cream and red, and you know, the coffee stains and things, and red again down here, and I was getting a little bit ooh. So now we've got some blue, so I think not next week, because next week I'll be on the book, but when I come back the week after, maybe here we're going to put something blue, although I do know that most of my bag of collected things for this are in the red pink zone, but we'll see. I love this, I'm very pleased with it. Yeah, I hope you've had some fun and inspiration, and if nothing else, you know, I've given you an idea about how to deal with something that's badly fraying if you hadn't thought of that before. I am just now wondering if before I call it finished, oh, I'm dreadful, aren't I? Let's maybe move him over so he sits there. If I could do some French knots on there and get that a little bit more 3D like he is, or whether indeed I want to do a little bit of thread painting through here. My only concern is once I do it, I'm not going to be able to undo it, and if I don't like it, I will have damaged that area I think, no, Claire, I think put that back through that lower one. It wasn't there, it was there. Put it back through that lower one and leave well alone. Don't go adding because it's going to interfere. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.